We've got some good momentum going on this account where I'm running Zap LaLo, and I believe for the first time I have managed to go perfect as well on this one. So that's quite a few attacks that I've managed to go ahead and get a perfect day on, deep into the Legend League season, and I'm pretty proud of it. So for the timing, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys I have shifted to the heal tome more or less for all of my Zap Lalo attacks. I've shifted away from the life gem, and it's because I've realized like the Lalo part of it, you can kind of like do it so quickly that the heal tome more or less lasts the entire time, where your Lalo has to deal with a lot of threats on the board. So with the help of the invincibility of the tome, you can deal with a major threat, and with the help of the heal tome, you can sustain damage in like some relatively minor threats. So it's much easier to sustain that damage once you learn how to deploy your Lalo. And the rest of it is pretty much the same. So the army link will remain in the description for you guys. Here's what I do carry in my clan castle. You'll see it's one of each of these spells. It's just I really like that skeleton spell. It's super duper helpful, and yeah, that's about it. So let's just go into some attacks that I've done. Okay, first base up over here. We have we have like this kind of like anti-2 style setup with a toxic rage compartment over here covering so many threats for a Lalo. So I'm sure you can imagine this is very dangerous. And not only that, we've got like scatter shots just waiting for us beside the town hall. So it's a very difficult core that we're gonna have to deal with. And most of these base styles, they have like these areas infested with like skeleton traps as well. So I'm sure you guys can probably identify what we need to zap on this base, and it should be fairly obvious. You should go for the Rage Tower with one of these Inferno multi-archer tower things. So that's obviously just what you have to zap, and how you have to expand upon that so that your Lalo can actually go to work. That is what is of importance. So not only how you need to expand upon it, but how you should probably consider timing your Lalo as well as deploying your Lalo. So let's keep into mind a few things while the replay does go on. We have sweepers pointing in this way and in this way, I believe. So we will face some resistance, but there are some methods you can use to go ahead and reduce that for yourself. And I also want to point out I somehow missed my zaps. I didn't even get this multi-inferno over here. So we're already in a relatively tough spot, but we're still gonna go ahead and make this one happen. So you'll notice I broke open this junction wall over here, and I'm gonna try to make my king and queen expand upon this hole that I tried to create, right? So naturally, I'm trying to make the queen go over here, and I'm having the king go in over here. So I've created the funnel accordingly, and you can see the queen will proceed to go in. And not only that, because I've broken this junction wall, if I leave a wall break from over here, it'll go and target this next intersection right over here, which gives my king access to one of the enemy heroes on this base. So small things like this, right? If you can get your heroes to deal with one of those air heroes on the base, while expanding upon the hole that you create on a base like this, you are usually in a very solid spot for your Lalo. And not only that, but the king will end up dealing with the clan castle as well over here. So it's just a cherry on top. So one air hero, we are expanding upon a hole that was created by dealing with a lot of the threats that are waiting for us in the core in the Lalo. So just zap out the threats that are there over here. There are multiple types of zaps that you can go for. This one is basically the zap type where you expand upon a hole that is made in the center of the base with your heroes. We're not trying to set a flame flinger to go, we're just trying to reduce the threats on the board for our Lalo. And you can see I have started my Royal Champion super early with a skeleton spell just to make sure that my queen does not go to ability. And she has still not gone to ability, she is still all healthy. I have not let her value go to waste. I'm just going and starting early. So like Royal Champion to kind of like cut the defenses a bit short so that the Lalo has a tighter path to go through, and you'll see we'll be able to easily handle most of this base, especially considering that the Lalo is capable of very quickly trimming these defenses. We need to focus most of our Lalo over here. And look at that, we've got the blimp, we've got some headhunters in there. I believe I barely missed clipping my hound, but that's fine because we've got some good tanking going on. And while all of that is happening, you will notice how I've placed my rage. Not much is covering the town hall. I've tried to emphasize it more on these major defenses over here. The ricochet cannon, the scatter shot, the multi-archer tower, and the inferno over here. Just look at that. So our balloons will be able to take advantage of it, just ever so barely, and that will give us the punch to quickly get past most of the threats waiting for us in that area. And yeah, as I did say, like this one multi inferno is remaining on the left side over here, but it doesn't matter. We saved onto one hound and around half of our balloons to deal with this entire backend over here. So we just went ahead and sprinkled them all in, and we will be able to converge on this base, no problems at all. And look at that. The queen that was saved is now coming to clutch for us as well. She will be able to deal with the multi-inferno. And even if all of my balloons go down over here, she still has her ability and she can deal with the scatter shot if my balloons cannot. But luckily we had enough balloons left over. We saved quite a bit over here to deal with this entire area. And that's about it. These are like one of your tougher base styles for LaLo, especially because of how packed the entire core areas with threads for like LaLo. So we also missed our zaps on this one. So definitely a bit of a challenge, but nonetheless we got it done. And that's just one of the ways you can kind of like make your LaLo go through the base. We'll just go into a few more examples and a few more varieties of how you can attempt to use your zaps to get different styles of LaLo going. So let's just get right into them. I would like to teach you guys a bit more of an advanced mechanic when it comes to like LaLo style attacks, especially these two like Sui style LaLo attacks, so like Zap LaLo, Sui LaLo. Basically, it follows something similar that we did in the last one, where we save onto one hound and a couple of loons to deal with a kind of isolated area on the base. So this box base style is honestly one of the more menacing ones for LaLo, especially considering how the sweepers protect this multi-inferno area so well. You cannot LaLo over the town hall, and it's very difficult to even LaLo over here. And not only that, we've got like core air defenses as well. So it's honestly just a LaLo killer on this base if you don't use the right approach. The threats on this base are well spread for you, and we just have to still deal with it one way or the other. So off the bat for Lalo for the Zap section of it, you will so we can just go ahead and follow the same principle that we did on the last one. So over here what I did was I went ahead and zapped the monolith, the poison tower, as well as the multi inferno on this one. And let's just keep the replay running while that does happen. And once again, we need to just think of ways in which we can expand upon that hole that we create. And if you just think about it for a little bit, the most natural way of doing so, such that we can have one of the air heroes down, is this is the hole that we've created. So if we send our king over here, we will get the multi-archer tower and the royal champion. So that's two threats out of the way for our Lalo as well. Plus, in general, he will clear that entire compartment. So that is already like from this much of a hole, we are expanding to like this much on the base over here. So obviously, very helpful. And you might think I'm going to send my queen over here so that she can just finish the rest of it. But I'm going to say no, I'm not going to send my queen over there. I'm going to send her in all the way out over here. And I'm going to have my royal champion come in while my queen is doing the tanking. It sounds ridiculous, but once you realize that your queen has the healer puppet on her, she can actually sustain damage pretty well, and you'll see it coming up very soon. You'll notice I have not used my giant. I have not. No, I've used my giant. You'll notice I haven't used my ice golem. That's what I meant to say. So it will provide a little bit of tanking. It will pull out the CC such that my queen will not be in too much of damage while dealing with it. And look at that. So while the queen is tanking, and while the queen will be dealing with my clan castle, the enemy clan castle, I've gone and started the royal champion. So just one more small note I want to mention is for Zap LaLo, sometimes you have to learn to be very patient with the hero dive. The only part where you have to start considering rushing a little bit is your Lalo portion itself. But for the hero dive, look at this, like you have to remain very patient. There is no point in me starting my Lalo portion from over here just yet. There's literally no point. It's too soon. There's still too many threats over here. It will take time for my Royal Champion to chew through. So as I notice, like, okay, the threats have kind of like slowed down. The sweeper over here has gone. My Royal Champion, with the help of the Hog Puppet and the Haste Vial, will be able to now slowly start picking up most of this value over here. It is time for me to go ahead with my Lalo and provide just a little bit of cover. And not only that, we managed to once again save our queen. Look at that. She still has her healers behind her. She is still going to be able to go ahead and pick up a little bit of value for us, but we've gone ahead and started with a LaLo. As I was saying, LaLo is the only part where you have to consider rushing the attack a little bit, and we've gone with a bit of a higher angle over here, so as to get more coverage of loans on a broader area, and so that they can easily envelop like around 2 compartments worth. And this time we're going to send a blimp for the town hall. And as I did mention earlier at the start of this replay, a little bit of an advanced trick of saving like one hound with a couple of balloons. So just literally like one hound and 6 balloons, just a little something to get going on the backside of the base over here. So now most of our balloons are coming around over here. They are continuously being healed up with the help of the Warden's Heal Aura. And now look at how we've timed the last hound with these 6 balloons on the back end. And this one scatter shot that's left, right? It'll not be able to do too much for us, because right as the heal tome is wearing off, these balloons from behind over here are going to be able to overwhelm it super easily, and that scatter shot will not know what even hit it and just dealt with it. So small tricks like that, just overwhelming defenses by speeding up only the LaLo portion and being patient on the heroes. I'm not saying that you need to wait for the heroes to like start dying out before considering starting your LaLo, but definitely be patient enough to understand what your hero's worth is and deciding when you need to get started with your LaLo. So try to do it such that you can provide some cover with your LaLo, but don't start so early such that the LaLo is not capable of dealing with the defenses that it has to go through. So you have to find that point, that middle ground, and you will notice like most of the time it's like I'll have one or two heroes kind of like middle in the middle of the health pool that they have before starting my LaLo. So I usually do end up burning through all of my hero abilities, but these two, at least my queen or maybe even my royal champion ends up surviving. So just a little bit of an advanced trick that I hope you guys did catch over there. Definitely try it out. It's extremely powerful, and yeah, we'll just move on to some more attacks for you guys. This is a base style that is one of the easier ones, but once again, I just want to lay some importance on having a little bit of patience when it comes to the hero dive part of it. You will also get to see what I mean by the heal tome lasting almost the entire duration of the LaLo portion of the attack. So I think this one is the type of double invis style base where you can zap both of the X-bows to just have a flame flinger finish the rest of the compartment off. Very simple setup. We're just having our king kind of go on from there and get going for the town hall. And you'll see I will start my queen up top over here with the assistance of a skeleton spell for the single inferno. And she is meant to kind of just clean up this area and keep going off to the right. So we've just got that going over here. You'll see my king is en route for the town hall. He should be able to get it down. The giant gauntlet just helps him out so much. And yeah, that skeleton spell, and I have one zap spell as well, so feel free to recycle your zap spells. So I only use 6 because we're taking on X bows. No scatter shots, no ricochet cannons. So save on your spells, and look at this. I'm gonna drop one spell over here to reset that single inferno, and that just that much, it has gone and made the single inferno lock onto the ice golem instead. So simple tricks like that, it's all you need to do. You just need to think on your feet a little bit, and literally just one loon on the builder hut, small things like that, it just helps speed up your hero dive that much more. So queen is perfectly well and alive over here, and you'll notice I've actually given a wall break over here. It seems a little odd at first, but if you think about it, like that is also an invis tower, so I can just wait for my queen to cover this entire area, and she should be able to pop her ability to just get rid of the scatter shot while also triggering the invis tower. Another very convenient tiny trick. It's just literally small things like this that you need to try to do in your attacks, and you will become a Zap LaLo demon. I can promise you that. So just look at this, like she just so easily comes right in over here. I'm gonna wait for her to pop that invis tower, and look at how much time is left on the replay. 50 seconds, and literally only like 50% of the base is left, and we have 50 seconds left on the clock. That just goes to show you guys, like the LaLo portion of this goes so insanely fast. So I've dropped the warden over here, I've dropped a couple of loons, the royal champion, and covering one hound and that ability, and we're just going to go and haste through this entire area. We've made sure to catch the headhunters in the warden ability as well. We've caught one hound in the warden ability, And yeah, this entire invis compartment does not, it literally doesn't even care. Like it's just completely gone. That clan castle does not matter, even if it's just all ice golems. And look at how overwhelming this finishes, guys. It's just insane. Like it does, we don't even need the heal tome for the rest of this attack. It's like no, there's nothing that can even threaten you. And yeah, that's just a simple finish. It's literally as simple as that. So the hog puppet and the haste while just going and cleaning up whatever is even left. And a very simple finish. But you will notice sometimes you need to be a little patient on your hero dives. You don't have to always rush. I will say, don't let your heroes die and then consider starting your Lalo. But at the same time, just be patient enough to realize what your heroes are worth. And if you can master the timing between deciding when to kind of start your Lalo, as well as, okay, this is the extent my heroes can really go to. If you can find that good balance point, like Zap LaLo is just unstoppable. I can promise you that much, and I'm starting to feel that too. So let's move on to some more attacks for you guys. Let's just explain it in depth. Maybe I can pick up like different styles of Zap LaLo. Yeah, let's just do that. I think this one would be a pretty good example of showing what you can really do with some Zap LaLo attacks. So, very simple over here. It's obviously like a very spread out double reach, and the town hall is completely isolated. There's not many threats around it, and we need to figure out what we can possibly do on this one. So off the bat, we are probably thinking of zapping some value around the rage tower, right? And you are not wrong at all. So what we just need to think about is what do we really need to zap out. The threats to the Lalo amongst this entire group are probably like the multi inferno, the multi archer tower, the air exbo, the multi inferno itself, and the scatter shot. Obviously, the rage tower is included as a part of that, but just very briefly, these are the threats that exist out over there. But at the same time, we can notice like all of these other threats are just available for you in like the same compartment. There's no wall bricks needed for you to really access most of it. And so you'll see I do something a little interesting with my zap spells over here. I decide to kind of just forego some of the major threats over here. Like maybe I could have zapped out this entire cluster over here. But instead what I choose to do over here, you'll see, I don't be greedy with my zap spells. I choose to zap value which is unreachable for my heroes. And just look at that. I don't even go for the rage tower off the bat. So it's like I just split it into like 2 and 5 so that I could also grab the sweeper. So there's nothing behind the wall over here at all. And yeah, just after that, it's a matter of the hero dive. So yeah, this ricochet cannon is not a threat for the Lalo. So I really don't care that it stays up. But at the same time, my king will be able to grab all of this. And not only that, once again, just noting it down, the enemy hero, the air enemy hero. So that's one air enemy hero down. I've just given one sneaky goblin over here for the right side of the funnel and a giant with my queen up over here for that initial tanking just so my queen can clear like maybe 1 or 2 buildings. And right after that, my king takes over for the tanking of the ground expo. So literally small tricks like that. Just pop a giant in front of your queen. Make sure she is not taking the damage while you're trying to funnel your king in. Literally small things like this. Just look at that. He's gonna absolutely obliterate the entire compartment and the queen is gonna heal up back to full health just that easily. So just imagine if I hadn't put the giant down right before dropping my queen, it was very likely that she could have actually gone to ability in this entire time because the expo had the rage tower still on and we still had the multi archer tower up ahead to deal with. So she could have easily gone to ability, but now I've managed to keep her ability intact and we are funneling our queen to go into this multi inferno. And once again, that's when I realized this is where my heroes will start facing some problems if they have to start dealing with this compartment. So that's when I do it. That's when I start my Royal Champion up over here so that she can deal with the defenses to make sure that my Lalo stays in this area. And since I didn't even use my Ice Golem previously, look at that. I just went and dropped it right over here to freeze a little bit. These defenses are waiting for me. Maybe allows me to pop my Warden ability just like half a second, 1 second later. And look at that. It's just that simple, guys. So there was no need for me to even start with a Halava Hound over here. There were no air defenses in this area. I knew I was going to have to pop my Warden ability early anyway. because I'm going to send a blimp for the town hall like this. So just get a nice lone wave going over here, let them all kind of go through, make use of the resources you have, and most importantly, time it such that your heroes are not wasted. They have gotten a lot of value to make your Lalo get started, but preserve them. So now my royal champion is healthy, my queen is healthy, neither of their abilities have gone, and look at that, like these guys will be able to easily take over the rest of the base. It really is that simple. And now we can just easily handle the rest of this base over here. There's no threats for our Lalo. Just sprinkle in the remaining lava hounds, balloons, whatever you have. It is completely broken. Like, what is going to stop you over here? This multi inferno? It doesn't matter. We have a queen ability, we have a royal champion ability. This base is completely broken. There's nothing that's going to stop you. So that's all you really need to do for these bases. It's just that simple. So we still have a poison spell, we still have a skeleton spell, but we're just gonna go ahead and like kind of like rush through the rest of the base over here. So just keep a tab on the resources that you really need. For example, I had an ice golem still in my hand, in my inventory, kind of. So I just went ahead and deployed it for the Lalo, which allowed me to just deal in my warden ability by that much. And of course, I didn't have to even deploy a lava hound to start with, which allowed me to save 2 lava hounds for the remaining air defenses over here and easily get a lone parade to kind of deal with the entire bottom of the base, right? So simple things like that. Just observe, are there air defenses in your path? Do you still have your ice column? Is it an appropriate time for me to start my Lalo now? Because my heroes will not be able to do much after they come to like this wall over here. So that's when I need to consider starting my Lalo, because I know my queen will just lose her ability. She will die even if I wait like maybe 3 to 5 seconds more. Simple tricks like that, guys. I'm telling you, that's all you need to keep a tab of, and just rush in with the Lalo. It's one phase after another. As soon as you've gotten that much value with your heroes, you can literally just spam your balloons however you want. Just make sure your warden is in the right place with the headhunters and the hound caught in the warden ability. You will break the base down completely, just like this. So easy. We'll do one more attack for you guys. Alright, I've picked up the last base for you guys, and the only reason I've done this one is because this is a wonderful base. Very, very honestly, it's a wonderful base. And I guess the first challenge is, what do you zap on a base like this, right? We've got 7 zaps and an earthquake, but most of the threats are so well isolated in the core for us. We've got we've got like a combination of a multi inferno and a monolith protecting the 2 air heroes. They're both in the same compartment this time. So either you can probably do a full send onto this compartment, but you don't get much more than the heroes, right? You're not really removing any threats for your Lalo. Maybe your queen will be able to reach this multi inferno, but you will not be able to reach the town hall. There's no way you do that. So in that sense, you're not really cutting the base down, right? So how can you even zap on a base like this? How do you even expand upon what your heroes are capable of? So in that sense, this base is very, very difficult. And maybe just pause the video here, over here, and think about it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead with the explanation, and I'm just going to inform you guys, you don't have to be greedy with your zaps. Just remember, you can zap as little as even the small cluster over here. Yes, like just 5 zaps. You can save 1 to 2 zaps. You don't need to use all the zaps you have in your army. You can save onto them for later on. You can zap even like headhunters. You can zap maybe low health enemy heroes. You can zap skeletons that are there on the ground, especially in compartments like these. So just save onto spells that you don't need. Just think of ways in which you can make life easy, one way or the other, such that your heroes can expand upon a whole that is well made. And the only thing I want to bring to your notice is I did not waste the quake value. You will notice I try to position the quake such that these guys don't get they have a much less health pool now. So my king will be able to easily deal with that. It's 3 threats actually: the air defense, the multi archer tower, and the scatter shot. That's 3 threats to our Lalo that we don't have to deal with over here. And of course, we just did the same funneling trick where the queen with the giant goes on the outside. The giant caught the initial attention of this X-bow, and that allowed my king to go in over here while the queen kind of funnels. And look at that, like nobody is targeting my queen. So now we've got the ice column freezing up, and I can easily pop my queen ability to take care of this entire area. So it's literally just small tricks like that. I've delayed a few balloons up over here just because I am aware of the fact that my queen will be getting rid of this air defense soon. And another detail, just again for the sake of completeness and emphasis, a skeleton spell up top over here because there's no multi-targeting defenses with my royal champion. It's just easy things like that. So I'm gonna stop focusing on my queen. She will grab out that entire compartment down over here and even deal with the enemy queen. So that is still a very convenient way of dealing with one of those air enemy heroes. And I'm sure you can see this attack shaping up. We are literally removing the entire left hand side of this base over here. um, Literally just five zaps, that's all we used, not all seven. And that skeleton spell with a few balloons to just provide a bit of tanking. One headhunter, that's it. And the royal champion dealt with the enemy king. She will keep going invisible. These balloons with the combination of the skeleton spell will keep her protected. And look at that, guys, like once again just a balloon wave. We're not wasting our royal champion value at all. We are going to make sure that she can definitely keep carrying on and funneling this area out so that my balloons can stick to this entire area, and eventually my royal champion will handle the town hall area. Rather, I should say those isolated infernos, and maybe even once again notice how I've placed my rage spell. I've placed it such that the balloons can come for the multi inferno while raised up. They can probably handle the ricochet cannon, the air defense while raised up, and only barely covering the Yeti's drop point inside this compartment. That's how little bit of the rage spell you need to just cover in that little compartment. You don't need much more than that. Honestly, you don't need much more than that. And once again, the trick of saving onto one hound with a couple of balloons for the back end. It is that simple, guys. It's literally that simple. Small tricks like this will save you. The entire base is crushed. And you may have noticed, as I mentioned earlier, those two zap spells, I used them to take down the skeleton farms that were hiding along this entire area. Um, there was also a tornado trap that caught my headhunters, so I could not kill the enemy royal champion. But with the help of some zap spells, we easily made our royal champion have no resistance, directly deal with the enemy royal champion, no dealing with any ground skeleton traps, completely a done deal. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this relatively detailed breakdown as well as some advanced tricks of Zap LaLo. And I really hope you can implement it into your own attacks, because once you get a hang of it, it is super duper fun. Just be patient on your heroes and don't forget to start your LaLo before your heroes start dying out. Try to identify, with the help of these videos of course, try to identify what the capability of your heroes are, and try to make sure that life is not too difficult for them. If you are trying to explicitly sui a hero all the way until they are dead, go for it, that's fine, just as I did with my queen on this one. But like again, like for example, my royal champion on this one, I intended to protect her. I didn't want her to like sui dive somewhere, and so I started my LaLo super duper early. I just made sure that she was able to go ahead and kind of funnel this area out. And not only that, while the loons stick to the outside, because I started them so early, the royal champion has nowhere else to go but that isolated core. Simple tricks, guys. It's very very simple once you get the hang of it. I really hope these videos help you out, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.